Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, and more specifically, we're going to be discussing Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency markets, and the 2018 bear market on an emotional level rather than on a technical level. If you guys watch the channel every day, you'll know that we do Bitcoin technical analysis every single day, so if you're new here, hit the subscribe button for that. But we're going to be discussing Bitcoin on an emotional level today because you can learn all the technical analysis you want, but if you get sad and depressed and leave the market, then that's kind of all for naught, isn't it? So I want to talk to the people today who have lost a lot of money here in the 2018 bear market. Perhaps you're one of these people that bought up here. Let me close that driver. Perhaps you're one of the people that bought up here above $20,000. Perhaps you're one of the people that bought right up here because you thought this was the bounce. We weren't going to see a bear market. We were going to go back up to all-time high. Perhaps you bought up here at $10,000. Hell, perhaps you bought 3 weeks ago hoping that something was going to change. But nevertheless, whatever you did, perhaps you've lost a lot of money because a lot of people have lost a lot of money. I've seen people tell me in the comment section that they've lost their life savings. I've seen people in the comments section tell me that they've lost a lot more than they were able to lose, and they weren't financially stable. I've seen a lot of pain come out of this bear market, so I want to discuss and address you guys in today's video. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. The first thing that I want to do is make it very crystal clear for all of us, especially the people who have come out of this market smelling like a rose. Perhaps because you've been shorting, perhaps because you've been doing some really good swing trades. Whatever it is, if you come out of this market making money, good on you. There is a lot of money to be made in this market, even in a bear market, if you know what you're doing, especially if you can short. But I do want to make it very clear to everyone who hasn't suffered in this market just how bad it's been for some of us. And now I've done all right in this market, but I do want to make it clear for everyone what kind of context we're dealing with here. If you bought in at $20,000 and you held all the way down to where we are now, you've been a hodler, and you bought in up here hoping that Bitcoin was going to go to the moon, then you've lost about 80% of your valuation. Bitcoin is down 81.39%, give or take, from the all-time high. Bitcoin is down 5% on the day, which is a pretty major move for not necessarily for Bitcoin, but for something like a stock market. That's a very major move. And that's another thing I want to get into is that a lot of the people that are in the cryptocurrency space, and this video is going to be a little bit more rambly because it's kind of coming from the heart. I don't have this scripted. A lot of people that got into the cryptocurrency space in 2017, they got into cryptocurrency because Bitcoin was booming, and a lot of people got into the market because they wanted to make a lot of money because perhaps you're tired of your job, perhaps you hate your job, perhaps you hate what you do, and you want to quit, or you want to be an entrepreneur, perhaps you want to be a trader, perhaps you want to do any of those things, perhaps you want the freedom of not having to work a 9 to 5. I completely understand that, believe me. But a lot of people got into the space here, and perhaps you're one of them. Back over here in 2017, I got into the space in 2017. I've been very open on the channel. Some people think it hurts my credibility, but I got into the market right over here on this day, the 31st of July, 2017. I've been in the market for about a year and a half now. I'm very open with that. I got into the space in the same way that a lot of people did. I saw Bitcoin going up, and I'm like, well, that's a money-making opportunity if I've ever seen one myself. And we got into the space, and we've been in the space for a couple of months. Bitcoin ran to $20,000, and right around the time we got right here, I was saying, Bitcoin's overextended, something bad's about to happen, and then that happened. And then, well, we know what else happened. That happened. Bitcoin didn't really appreciate going to $20,000. It didn't stay up there very long. But my point is, a lot of people got into the space over here in 2017 on the hope that they were going to make a lot of money. And there was a lot of money to be made. And we did make a lot of money in 2017. If you got into the market in 2018, you missed the party because 2017 was ridiculous. But a lot of people got into the space over here, and when the bear market started, they got completely blindsided. They didn't expect it to happen. They didn't think it would last this long. They didn't think the bull market was so far away, and they certainly didn't think that Bitcoin would ever see $3,600 again. At the time being, when Bitcoin was first pulling back from $20,000, I didn't think we'd see $3,600 again. And I did think for a long time that $6,000 would hold, and I was wrong about that. We didn't hold. But the point is, a lot of people have lost a lot of money in this. If we come over here and look at all-time high coin index, athcoinindex.com, let's go ahead and look down the list because I want to make sure, like I've said a couple of times, I want to make sure that you guys understand how bad the market has been for a lot of people so that we can do a rebound and talk about where the market's going from here. Bitcoin has lost 81% of its valuation from all-time high. XRP is down 90% from all-time high. Ethereum's down 93% from all-time high. Bitcoin Cash down nearly 96% from all-time high. That's a ridiculous amount of money to be lost if you were buying into Bitcoin Cash up at all-time high in early January. EOS down 87%. Stellar Lumen is down 85%. Litecoin down 92%. Litecoin's the lowest I've ever seen it. The first Litecoin I bought, it was the first cryptocurrency I bought. I bought some Litecoin at $41.02 on like August the 3rd or something, 2017. Cardano was down 97%, is down 97%. Monero down 90%. Guys, the market has not treated us very well. We've lost a lot of money because a lot of people that got into the space, a lot of those people that I was talking about earlier, that got into the space in 2017 are the ones that left the space, and they left with their money, and the valuation of a lot of these cryptocurrencies has gone down drastically, and a lot of people are in a lot of hurt. So we understand what's going on here. This seems very, very bad. It seems like Bitcoin has crashed a lot, XRP has crashed a lot, Ethereum has crashed a lot, Bitcoin Cash has crashed a lot. That seems to be a very, very bad thing. On the surface, it seems to be a very bad thing. There's a reason I said seems, because it seems to me that a lot of people look at these percentage down from all-time high, percent change from all-time high, and they say, oh, crap, Bitcoin's down 80%. And then they scroll down and they say, oh, crap, XRP's down 90%. Oh, crap, Bitcoin Cash, crap, it's down 96%. And they say crap a couple more times, and then they go away, and they're sad, and they're depressed. But the problem with you doing that is that that doesn't include foresight. It doesn't include your ability to look out into the future and see what's coming and see the forest for the trees and see what this space is going to develop into. Because a lot of people don't seem to realize exactly how revolutionary Bitcoin, blockchain technology, and many of the other technologies that have been developed in the altcoin space are. XRP is a very, very big and useful product that a lot of banks are starting to use. XRP is coming online in a big way. Now, I'm not getting into the argument of whether or not XRP is a cryptocurrency right now, but my point is it's being utilized, and it is being used for what it was intended to be used for. Ethereum is also a very, very good product. Bitcoin Cash, I'm going to skip that one. EOS is a very good project. I'm a big fan of EOS. Bitcoin, of course. I'm a very big fan of Bitcoin. I very much like what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin has the ability to revolutionize transactions and the financial system as we know it. There are just a couple more second layer solutions like Lightning Network that we need to get online before we can finally go there. This space is going to change the way we do money in a big way over the next decade, and a lot of people don't seem to have the ability to look out into the future and understand how revolutionary the technology that we are investing in is. Let me go back on the S&P 500 real quick. I'm going to dive into stocks for a second. I want to go back on the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is basically an index of the U.S. stock markets for you guys who aren't versed in stock markets. Let's go back over here and look at the 2008 financial crisis. If you guys were alive back then, and I'm sure you were if you're watching this video, if you're under 10 years old, well, hello there. I'm not sure what you're doing in Bitcoin, but get in while you can and trick your parents into buying some Bitcoin. Don't trick them. But anyway, if you're alive and cognizant of the markets back over here in 2008, and the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of people that watch the channel are younger and may have been teenagers or younger adults when 2008 happened, the market tanked. And the stock market lost a lot of valuation. The global economy just went up. It just went belly up. A lot of people were worried that the global economy was just not going to recover. A lot of people lost a lot of money. Housing prices were crashing. People were losing a lot of value in their homes. They were paying more on their mortgages than their house was worth because they locked in their... You guys understand how bad 2008 was if you lived through it, and I think a lot of you guys did, and I think a lot of you guys understand that. Look at how fast the market dived here on the S&P 500. And of course, I am comparing the S&P 500 to Bitcoin, and I will get to the differences between those in a second. But look at how fast this dove. And there's a very key thing that we want to look at here, because right back over here, we had all these people on CNN and Fox News and CNBC getting on television saying, okay, now's the time to be buying into the stock market. Check this stock market out, guys. Look at that bull run. Stock market's going to all-time highs, and then we got right back up to that all-time high, and the biggest crash since the Great Depression happened. Not necessarily since the Great Depression, but a very, very big one, the likes of which we haven't seen in a very long time happen. And a lot of people lost a lot of money. But the reason they lost a lot of money, and a lot of people forget this, is because they sold at the bottom. Guys, this is another point I want to bring up. The reason and I'm tying this back into Bitcoin, I understand. The reason a lot of people lost a lot of money in this market is because they bought up here when the bull market was going. They bought up here, and they say, oh, crap. They said, oh, crap, a couple more times. You know, this is kind of the mantra of a bear market is, oh, crap. They said, oh, crap, look at this. We have a gap in the stock market. We have this just blood fall, whatever the hell happened there. We have a major, major sell-off happening in the S&P 500 and in just about every single other stock across the board. And they sold down here. They got scared and they sold their retirement funds. They sold their 401k stocks. They sold everything they had, and they lost a lot of money. But if they had have held for the next 3 years, they would have been at break even. And that's the reason I'm bringing this up, because they bought up here. Maybe they bought a house up here. Perhaps they spent $600,000 on a house up here and sold it down here for $450,000 and lost all that money and gave it to Uncle Sam in the bank. Perhaps they lost a lot of money doing that. But if you had held onto your house, if you had held onto your stock, well, guess what? You would be at a major, major gain right now. So let's see what we're looking at here. We're looking at all-time high. We lost 55% of the valuation of the S&P 500. I'm just using the S&P 500 as an example here. And they let's say they bought it all-time high. If they sold down here at the bottom, they would have lost 55%. If they held and they didn't sell, and they just held it like you're supposed to with stocks, they'd be up around 60, 70, 80% right now, which isn't the greatest gain in the world, especially when it takes a decade to get it, which is why I'm not in stock markets. But the point I'm trying to make is that if you guys bought at the all-time high, and if you believe in the technology, why would you sell at an 80% loss if you can just hold on to the Bitcoin for the next 20 years and then sell it when it goes to $200,000? Now, guys, I understand that there is some skepticism as to how far Bitcoin will go. There is some skepticism as to whether or not Bitcoin is going to survive or not, as there was in 2008 and 2009 about the stock markets, about the real estate markets, about every single market on the planet. People were panicking. And people are panicking right now. And if you're panicking right now, I want you to understand that if you leave the space right now, I think anyway, I'm not going to tell you to stay in the space or not. You notice I haven't told you to do that all video, and I'm not going to either, because it's not my responsibility to do that. You guys have to make that decision. But I'm going to give you a little bit of my judgment in case you guys want it. I think if you leave the space right now, you're making the biggest mistake in your entire life, and you're going to regret it till the day you die. And you're going to regret it in a major way because you're going to miss out on the biggest opportunity of your life. The reason that I brought up it seems to be a bad thing that Bitcoin's down 80%, or it seems to be a bad thing that XRP is down 90%, is because people are looking at it from the short term, and they're looking at it looking backwards in time rather than forwards in time. They're looking back and saying, okay, well, I bought Bitcoin at $17,000. It's down 80% from all-time high. Oh, crap, I lost a bunch of money. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Bitcoin's down 80%. Look at how much more Bitcoin I can buy now because Bitcoin is a fifth the price as it was at all-time high. Bitcoin's probably going to go back to all-time high in the future. I'm making that assumption, of course. It's probably going to go back to all-time high in the future. If it goes back to all-time high, we know how markets work. It's probably going to go way further beyond all-time high, maybe somewhere up here. I'm not putting a price target, but my point is if we go to $20,000, we're going to have the exuberance to go a lot further. If you think that's going to happen, why would you be scared right now? Why would you be worried about the market right now? Why would you be worried about Bitcoin being at $3,600? Especially if you're one of the people who bought Bitcoin for the long term. Scare quotes. I'm doing scare quotes in real life because I see a lot of people saying, okay, well, I'm buying for the long term. And then they get worried if the market goes down. Guys, I'm a long-term investor. Of course, I trade Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and altcoins. But I'm also a very big long-term investor in this space in Bitcoin and a couple of altcoins, well, several altcoins that I'm a big fan of. And that's why you guys listen to me make this video, and I seem so upbeat and so happy, even though we just lost 45% of the valuation of Bitcoin in the last 2 weeks. And some people are wondering, well, Jeb, you seem rather happy for how bad the market's doing. Yeah, because I'm not selling. If you guys are worried about the market going down, that means that you're planning on selling in the next couple of days, in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months. If you bought Bitcoin 3 weeks ago and you're planning on holding it for the next 10 years, why would you be worried? Why would you be? There's no reason to be worried because it doesn't matter what the price action does in between point A where you buy it and point B where you sell it. Bitcoin can go to negative $10,000 after you bought it and then back up to $100,000 when you sell it. And none of that price action matters at all because the only 2 points that matter are where you bought and where you sold. And guess what? You got to buy somewhere. $3,700 Bitcoin seems like a pretty good place to buy to me. I'm not telling you to buy because I don't know what the bottom is. But another thing you got to remember is calling bottoms can be pretty scary and can be pretty dangerous for you, actually, because you might miss them. You know, you guys realize I'm rambling here. My point is I don't want you guys to get worried because if we come over here to CoinMarketCap, I thought today was a good day to do it. We see maybe 10, 15 altcoins in the green. The rest of the cryptocurrency space is not doing very well. We see a lot of red. We see a bunch of double-digit losers, about 6 of them. Matter of fact, Factom is down by 25%. I like that Factom's always at the top and the bottom so that I can make that pun. But my point here is, guys, just because the market is doing poorly, just because the market is crashing, just because the market is losing valuation, just because Bitcoin is down 80%, just because XRP is down 90%, just because Bitcoin Cash, whichever Bitcoin Cash you want to look at, is down 95%, doesn't mean anything. Because what matters is where you bought and where you sold. So if you bought at $20,000 and you want to sell now, well, you're doing it backwards. So you can sell now at a loss and leave with the 20% you have, or you can hold on to it for the next 20 years because I think anyway, and this is my opinion, you guys can disagree with me if you want, I think Bitcoin's going to go way further than $20,000 in the future, guys. I think Bitcoin's going to go to 6 figures and very possibly 7 figures if we have some layer 2 solutions come on and work on the scaling problems that we have like Lightning Network. And I think that is going to happen. I think the next 10 years are going to be really, really good for Bitcoin, guys. Look at what Bitcoin did in the first 10 years. Bitcoin turns 10 in about a month and a half. On January the 3rd, 2009, the first Bitcoin in existence was mined by Satoshi Nakamoto. And January the 3rd, 2019 is coming up. Bitcoin hasn't even been around for 10 years, guys. I hope that every single one of you watching this video is over 10 years old. And I imagine you are. You've been around for 10 years. You know what 10 years feels like. It's not that long, but also it's a really long time. And the next 10 years are going to be revolutionary for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has gone from absolutely absolutely nothing, from literally a worthless coin that some dude named Satoshi Nakamoto, whose name looks like an anagram for Japanese companies, if you look up that meme, you'll know what I'm talking about, to $100 billion, $200 billion, $830 billion cryptocurrency market at one time when all-time high Bitcoin ran up to, or total cryptocurrency market cap ran over $800 billion. In 10 years, we did that. Imagine what the next 10 years, next 20 years, next 30 years, next 40 years will bring for the cryptocurrency space. I think we're sitting on a revolutionary bit of technology that is going to absolutely change the way we do finance, and I think it's going to change the world in a very big way, and I think it's going to change the bank accounts of the people who got in at this point in history in a very big way. We need to look no farther than the last bear market of Bitcoin to see what happened when people were down here selling below this level analogous to $6,000. What are the people that sold down here saying right now? If you're one of the people that was in the space in 2014, you're in the space in 2015, you're in the space in 2016, before 2017, let's say you're in the space at that time. Tell people in the comments section down below how big of a mistake they're making if they're selling now and not buying right now. Tell them that, because I know there are some of you guys who are watching who were back here. I've read comments of people saying, yeah, I bought 10,000 Bitcoin up here. I bought 1,000 Bitcoin up here. I bought 100 Bitcoin up here at all-time high back over here at $1,000, and I sold it down here somewhere around here. And now they regret it, because even at the lowest Bitcoin has been in a couple of years, Bitcoin's still worth 3 times what previous all-time high was during the last bull market. Tell them, please, because I wasn't around back here. They're not going to take my word for it. So tell them, if you're one of the people who was in the market back here and you sold or you missed out the opportunity to buy when Bitcoin was below $300 freaking dollars, tell people in the comment section down below how amazing of a deal they're getting and how big the next bull market is getting, because I think we're going to see a major bull market come in the next year or so. I think that's going to happen, and I think we're going to see the market go way beyond $20,000 in the future. Tell me in the comment section down below what you think of that, guys. Like I said, the market, or the video today was a little bit more rambly because I wanted to talk to you guys about the emotional side of it, and I figured scripting the video wouldn't really be very conducive to that. Anyway, guys, like I said, I do hope that helped. If you need any more help, feel free to join the Discord server. We have emotional support dogs like you see on college campuses today to help you out. Not really, we don't have any dogs, but we do have some people that would be more than happy to talk to you about the cryptocurrency space, myself included. By the way, guys, at the end of the video here, I do want to talk about the course. I'm not going to do a sales pitch today, but I do want to mention that we had like close to 20 people joined yesterday on the Cyber Monday deal. If you missed that deal, I lied. I'm going to do a bit of a sales pitch. If you missed that deal, you might want to get into the course anyway, because the price is going to be rising to $149 from $99 on Thursday, because there's 5 new videos going up on the course tomorrow. I'm going to try and get them launched tomorrow. If they don't launch tomorrow, they will definitely be launched on Thursday. So watch out for that. That's basically going to do it for this video, guys, though. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.